So, the little boy that cried wolf, he always cried wolf, and the wolves never came. And then when the wolves did come, he cried wolf, and they didn't show up. Because he had what? He had a reputation, he had a track record as being a liar, right? So maybe the little boy that cried wolf had potential, but somebody tell me, was he fulfilling his potential? No. Why was he not fulfilling his potential? Right. So my man was taking action, right? He took action and he made an investment, but he did it in what? Into the wrong things. He invested in all the wrong things. So when I tell you guys that y'all have potential, you do. You have potential. And what happens when you invest in the wrong things, you cry wolf and people don't show up, right? You make investments in the wrong thing, you try to tell somebody, you try to tell somebody the truth, and they doubt you because you've created a what? You've created a track record that makes it hard for people to believe you. Somebody tell me what this says.
Reputation is your...
So what does that mean? Hold up. Reputation is your social shadow. What does that mean? Yep. It's something that follows you everywhere. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is that your reputation is your social shadow. Your reputation is your track record. I'm asking you if you are creating a track record to fulfill your potential. Tell me what freedom is. Yeah. Oh, hold up. We just got it, right? So when I said, what do you need to be able to do the things that you want to do? I asked, what is freedom? The ability to do what you want to do, right? Y'all said, we need time and we need money. I'm telling you, you need come on, I just said it. What gives you the right to just do what you want to do?
Freedom.
You can be the shot caller. You can have the freedom to do what you want, when you want, how you want, because you want. Repeat this after me, freedom.
Freedom.
Repeat this after me, freedom.
Freedom.
Okay, so you have freedom. I want you to have more freedom. Alright? And because you get out what you put in, your freedom is dependent on your investment. It's that simple. So give yourselves the freedom to do what you want to do. You can call your own shots. You can be your own shot caller. But you get out what you get out what you Alright. So give yourselves the freedom to call the shots. I love you guys. I'll see you next week, alright? It was a pleasure to be talking.
You got me.
Somebody tell me what adversity is. You don't know, but you're tired? Okay, so let me tell you this. Fatigue is a form of adversity. Somebody else tell me what they think adversity is. Difficult. Very good. Thank you. Right here. Let's go right here.
It says difficulties or misfortune.
Difficulties or misfortune. Love it. That's great. All right. So, here's another word for adversity. A challenge. All right? Tell me something challenging in your life. Hold up. So you could say that your decisions create adversity. Let me tell you something. Everybody in this room has had some adversity that's resulted from their decisions. Because y'all look back on things, right, and you go, you know what? The consequences would have played out differently if I'd have made a different decision. And your own decisions created adversity in your life. But the best thing about that is that they're your decisions. So you live and you learn. There's an R&B group called Boys to Men, and they sang a song called End of the Road. Look, a track record is behind me, right? Track record is behind me, but this isn't the end of the road. Like, what happened in my past isn't going to define me going forward. I can still change things. So if you lived and you made some decisions that you had to learn from, they don't have to define you. We talked about this last week. We said your circumstances don't have to define you. So the adversity that you guys are up against There may be consequences, there may be regret to some of it, but that stuff doesn't have to define you. You can overcome that adversity. So if I did that and it didn't work, let me try something different. Who knows what that's called? An adjustment, right? To adjust, right? You said thinking. Yeah, critical thinking. Here's what I'm going to leave you with today. I want you to control the controllables. A lot of times, we struggle to overcome adversity. We struggle to overcome adversity because we try to control things that are out of our control. You said breathing, right? Slow the breathing down. Slow the breathing down. There's a very physiological effect to slowing your breathing down. Behavior, right? Somebody else tell me something that's within their control. Decisions. Are y'all hearing this? Decisions, emotions, breathing. These are things that you guys have control over. So whenever adversity is in your life, because I promise you this, adversity is guaranteed. But you have control over certain things. So I need y'all to slow the process down and control the things that you have control over. Hey, I love you guys. I'll see y'all next week. All right, bye. Example, right? Example. Somebody else tell me like what they think about when they think about the word influence.
When I think about influence, I think about like something that's positive that's going on.
Okay, so you think of positive and encourage. Somebody else, talk to me about influence. What does influence mean to them? You look up to someone. Got it. Love that. Great. Okay. When you guys think about influence, like what kind of person, like who do you think about when you think about like influential people? We got like friends are influential, right? Teachers. Yup. Teachers. That's another good one. I want you guys to know this. There's somebody else. You're right. Friends have influence, right? Teachers have influence. Parents have influence. Coaches have influence. Musicians have influence. Celebrities have influence. Politicians have influence. But there's somebody else in this group of people that we're forgetting to mention. My man. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. You guys have influence. There are also things that you guys can be doing to put yourselves in a position to win. So when we get like, who are we missing when we talk about influence? Ourselves, that's 100% right. Yeah, y'all are forgetting how much influence you have.
It's like it's very rare that you have your own perspective of things.
Why? Why is it very rare that you have your own perspective? That is, look, you said it, your own perspective. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's why I asked you guys who has influence, and you give me half a dozen different people without naming yourselves. It's your perspective. It's your vision. And y'all are like, oh, I look to him. I look to her. I look to them to tell me how I should feel about something. This is your influence. These are your decisions. They're your emotions. This is your future. You determine how far you go in life. Y'all look around at your circumstances and you let the circumstances define you. You have the opportunity to define yourselves. They're your perspectives. You said it, right? I want you to own that. How come we like look to other people to think for us?
Because people care what other people think too much.
Some people are weak-minded, bro.
Okay, all right. So we got like weak-minded, care too much. All right.
They try to please other people.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's talk about this. How do we overcome that? How do we overcome that? You smiling, man. You beaming. How do we overcome like people being weak-minded and caring too much and pleasing others? Like, how do we get past that? If I say when we compromise our own influence, like when we're capable of more, but we just compromise for less because we want to please others, or because we care too much about something that shouldn't be cared about, or because we're weak-minded. How do we overcome that?
By believing what you believe and don't let nobody tell you something
Guess what you're doing right now? You're using your own influence. You're sharing your perspectives. She said, I disagree, but what did she say before I disagree? She said, I
Respectfully disagree.
There you go. So like, look, y'all have influence. It could be I respectfully disagree, but you're still asserting your influence. Refuse to let the circumstances define you. So somebody give me an example of their circumstances right now. So you're losing. Right, okay, and that's a cultural thing. But that's as a team. So as an individual, you can still assert your influence and become better. And I'll give you a couple examples of how you can do that. If you continue to show up to practice, continue to work hard, continue to become a better hitter, continue to become a better fielder, it may not be this team forever. Maybe you wind up on another team, or maybe your discipline for the sport of baseball winds up translating into life. And all of a sudden, you've asserted your personal influence, your perspectives on your circumstances. And you put yourself, maybe not the team, but you put yourself in a position to win. That's your influence. That's you asserting your influence. That's refusing to let the circumstances define you. That's defining your circumstances, asserting your influence to define your circumstances. Somebody tell me what the board says.
You have influence.
All right. Now, let's go ahead and erase the word you.
I
have.
So everybody repeat after me. I have influence. You get out what you
put in.
You get out what you
Put in.
You get out what you
Put in.
I want you to remember that you have influence. You have influence over your circumstances. Your circumstances do not have to define you. You have influence over them. You can influence your circumstances. You can influence your future. You are capable. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.
They used to give us those chocolate and vanilla covered cinnamon rolls.
Here at school?
Yeah.
Man, what happened? What happened? Hey, you need to get on that. Come on, I respectfully disagree with the fact that we no longer get chocolate covered cinnamon rolls. See you guys next week.